Good morning everyone, this is Jennifer Gato and I'm here reporting to you about the law or business law. So I'm here inside my comfort room. So now we're going to be talking about law. So I know law has been very known to you or familiar to you, and I'm now going to be asking you what is law? For me, law is a system of rules which a particular country or community recognizes or as regulating the actions of its members, and which it may be enforced by the imposition of penalties. I guess. Thank you. Yes, you're right. You are absolutely right, guys. Law is something like a rule of defining correct procedure or behavior in a country or a community, right? So, yeah. And I would like you to know that law has can be promulgated or enforced by a legal state, or which is also known as the legal sense, or also but can be enforced by the non-legal sense. So, when you say non-legal sense, non-legal laws, these are the set of laws that are not enforced by the authority or by the government, as it is, and you can follow it or not follow it, and this enforced by particular institutions such as like sports clubs, at school, or any kind of organizations that if ever you you violate or break any of the law that they have given in the institution that you are in, you will not get yourself into the court or something like that, but you will be facing some consequences in that institution that you are in, but you will not be punished by the government since it is non-legal. So non-legal law has four kinds. It is first is the non-legal law. Firstly is the divine law. This divine law, when you say divine law, the first thing comes into your mind is like God and belief, right? So divine law, it is that a law that is believed to come directly from God. So you have the choices to follow that rules or follow that law or not. So it's really up to you because it's not legal. It's not properly enforced by a government. So you have the choices. And the second one is the natural law. Natural law derives from nature and is believed by binding upon human actions. So same as like the divine law, you have the choices to follow it or not. And the third one is the moral law. Moral law, general rule of right living. So when you say right living, it is based on premise that there is such things as right or wrong. So that is the moral law. And the last one is the physical law. So I don't have to explain further about the physical law. So those are the non-legal rules or laws, or the non-legal sense. So you have the choices to follow it or not, right? And now we're going to be going to talk about the business law, since we have to focus in the legal law now, since we're talking about the business or entrepreneurship. So why do you think entrepreneurs have to be knowledgeable about the business law or the laws? Like, why? It's because thinking that we are living in a society under the rule of law, so marketing economy itself is an economy under law, right? So come to think of it, like if an entrepreneurship or a businessman doesn't have any knowledge about the law or any business law, is like a car driver who doesn't know anything about the rules of the traffic, right? So it's like even if he's lucky not to get himself into an accident, but he will get someday. There will times that will come that someday he will get fined and will get his driver license confiscated. So an entrepreneur who doesn't have any knowledgeable about a law will be something like the car driver, right? So let's put that you have the knowledge about the law or any business law, so you'll be sure of yourself that if ever your rights will get violated or like will get broken, you have the you are good in safeguarding yourself or your rights with the arms of the law, right? So it's the advantage of knowing the or being knowledgeable about the law. So now I'm gonna be talking about the sources of legal law. First sources of legal law is the first source of legal law is the Constitution. So when you say Constitution, it is a set of rules that govern how a government can exercise public power. So that's the first thing, or that's the first source of legal law. So the second one is legislation. These are laws that enacted by the legislature body in a given place, which are meant to be followed by the citizens or by the people in your community or country. So the next one, the third source of legal law is administrative or executive orders. So these are administrative or executive orders, are a rule of orders issued by the president to an executive branch of government and having to force of law, right? So the fourth one is the judicial decision. So when you say judicial, it's something like the judgment, yeah. So judicial decision, the determination by a court of competent jurisdiction on matters submitted to it. Yeah, something like that. So the fifth one is the custom. A custom is something like familiar for us, right? So custom is a traditional and widely accepted way of behaving or doing something that is specific to a particular society, place, or time. So it's where I'm behaving or doing something in behaving in a right way. So the last one is the principles of justice and equity. So when you say justice, it's something like just behavior or treatment or respect for the people, right? So and equity is something like the quality of being fair or saying justness and place genuine. So those are the for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 6. There's the last one, religion. Sorry about that. So I guess I don't have to further explain about the religion since we all know about what religion is, right? So those are the 7 sources of legal laws. Now we're gonna be talking about the characteristics of legal law. So of course, legal law has some characteristics. So the first characteristic is it is a rule of conduct. Yeah. So when you say a rule of conduct, it is something like a guidelines or formalities. So a guideline for everybody or a guideline for people in a society or in a certain country to do something, or what a guidelines to what they must do. So the second one is it is obligatory. So when you say obligatory, from the word itself, obligatory or obligation, right? So it only means that you have to do it or you must do it, or else you're gonna be facing consequences, right? So the third one is it is promulgated by legitimate authority. So when you say promulgated, in other terms, it also known as enforced. So it is enforced by legitimate authority. So when you say authority, legitimate, it is made known or officially enforced by an authority, not by just other people, just in there or there, not just by enforced by random people, but by the authority, by the government itself. So the fourth characteristic is it is for common observance and authority. So of course it is for common observance of everybody. So those are the four characteristics of legal laws. As I have mentioned earlier, an entrepreneur or a businessman has to be knowledgeable about the business law, because of course you will be good in safeguarding about your rights, whatever happens in your business or something like that. So knowledge about the business law is important on deciding into these things. First is on the form of business organization, whether sole proprietorship or partnership or corporation. So you're gonna you have to know something or be knowledgeable about something, business law, and undergoing or deciding on the form of business you will have in the organization. So the second one is on the kind of products to deal in. So of course you're in a business, so you're gonna be dealing with products. You're gonna be dealing with a lot of maybe rules or something like that. So you have to be knowledgeable. So the third one is on the location of the business. So of course, you cannot just have a location right away if you wanted it to be, without undergoing into some rules or laws in that society or something like that. So you have to be knowledgeable. And again, the fourth one is on whether to transact or cash basis or with disbursement checks or on account. So again and again, you have to be knowledgeable about the business law, so that on deciding on that matter. The second one and the next one is on borrowing and mortgages. So the next one is the character loans or loans on collaterals. Loans, when you say loans, it's like something like, So the last one, and it's not the last one, the next one is the promissory notes, bank checks, and other negotiable instruments. So when you say promissory notes, I guess every one of us is familiar on it. Promissory notes is like when you don't, or you're not able to pay something in a right time or in a due date that has given to you, then you're gonna be having promissory notes or bank checks and other negotiable instruments. So and that's how important having a knowledge on business laws, on deciding things about or on the business. So now, lastly, guys, we're gonna be talking about the last topic or the last discussion. We're gonna be discussing about the last one of my topic. So a business person will somehow deal, even in the simplest form, with laws. So again and again, a business person should always know about, or should always be knowledgeable about the business laws if you are in a business, so that whatever happens, you know what to do rightly. So first thing is in partnership or corporation. So of course, in partnership, you're gonna be dealing with other person, or in a corporation, you're gonna be dealing with a large number of people in a business, doing business together. So whatever happens in your relationship in between, then you'll both know what to do, or what to do with your rights, or how to like something like to protect your rights against whatever happens or whatever will be happening between the two of you. So the next one is the obligations and contracts. So doing a business, you have to be undergoing some contracts. So when you say contracts, you're gonna be doing the thing, or you are obliged to do the thing that is written on that contract. When you are in a business, so you have to follow those things, and if ever whatever happens in that, and at least you know what are the rules and the laws that are given to you. The next is the negotiable instruments. So when you say negotiable instruments, as I said earlier, is the promissory notes, the bank checks, or anything, something like that. So when you see a business in their simplest form also undergoes in some laws that way. So the fourth one is the sales agency and credit transactions. So when you do credit transactions, again and again, it's a transactions, and most importantly, credit. So when you say credit, it's really important and something that you cannot be joked around, right? So of course you have to undergo some laws or rules in that. The fifth one is taxation. So taxation, right? When you are in a business, you pay taxes, a lot of taxes, maybe, or less. But whatever it is, you have to undergo some rules and laws. You have to pay your taxes, and also whatever happens if ever there's some conflict in that area, then you have to be knowledgeable about the business laws in that area also, so that you know what to do rightly. The sixth one, or the last one at last, is the labor. So in a business, there's always a labor. Without a labor, I guess there's no business at all. So labor is very important as well, and also it contains a lot of laws and rules and regulations that a business person or an entrepreneur should follow also. So those are the simplest forms, so that a business person will somehow deal on. Now guys, that is what my report is all about, guys, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have learned something from this, and thank you for bearing with me. Bye.